Hi guys, welcome back to our channel Technical Gaming, and welcome also to Torchlight Infinite. And this is an update about our Gemma 2 Flame of Pleasure Path of Flames build. Now, as you can see on the dummy DPS, we are able to reach 8.1 billion DPS, and here are some changes that we actually made. It's more on the gears basically. And if you're first time watching this, consider subscribing because we're making Torchlight Infinite builds, updates, and guides. Now let's jump over to the gears. So previously we have upgraded our helmet for this Long Night Sorcerer's Mask. We also have this Twilight Vestment. And basically I'm doing this is for the first time watching this video, but we also have part 1 and part 2 of this build. Kindly check on that on the video description. Just kindly click the playlist for Twightmare season. There also you can see other builds that I made for this season, such as Carino, Lethal Flash, and also Yuga, and also Rihan Anger. Okay, so again, let's go back. So we have Twilight Vestment. One of the uniques is a Strange Snow because of the affliction effect that it can provide, which is 56%. It also have affliction effect that it can inflict to enemy, which is 50 when the enemy is full life. And another unique is Torturous Touch. You don't have to, if you don't have the reaping or reaps corroded, that's perfectly fine. Just kindly use the normal version, but if you can have this corroded, much better. And then for the belt, we have God's Boon belt. I was lucky to buy this, and it has 18% drop rarity. It also has 18% defense, which is really cool, and elemental damage and less damage for low mana, and also affliction effect, as you can see, and some resistances. For King's Boon, of course, for energy shield, it has a lot of energy shield mods that we actually need. Some, cold resistance, and another reap. And another thing is the more with less, so that we don't choose that on our talent. It provides 40% additional DOT damage and DOT duration for less than 20%. Okay, you should be able to have the corroded version for the skill radius for more with less, but that's really expensive for now. So just kindly buy the normal one. For the ring, just look for the mod for this. Reaping cooldown recovery is really needed, and also affliction effect. This one doesn't have the affliction effect per second, but if you have the affliction effect per second and affliction effect with both of your ring together with cooldown, reaping cooldown recovery, that's much better. But this one is the only one that I have. Because if you're going to purchase those, it's really expensive. So this is the one that I'm using, but as you can see, we're still able to reach 8.1 billion DPS. For the weapon, choose for Supreme Throne. Focus if you can get some corroded version for +3 channeled skill level. I only have +2, but that's okay. This is actually the one that we have upgraded. I bought this and I just simply upgraded. I bought this with the T1, this 13% armor damage mitigation penetration with dot damage, and this is only tier 1 fire skill level, and I have affliction effect. So I just target processing this. I got the affliction effect for 37%, and I upgraded the fire skill to tier 2 or tier 0 rather, and I also upgraded the dot damage. Okay, so that's why we're able to reach 8.1 billion DPS. Let's jump over to the skill for the sake of those first time watching this video for this build. So of course our main skill is Path of Flames with Guard, Cataclysm, Elemental Fusion, Fire Penetration, and Control Spell. This has been done for testing. So far this support skill has been doing so great for this build. Another DPS giver for this build is the Star Stalker, a new skill that provides us 53% additional dot damage, and it will track all the elites that it can actually see, and it will provide 100% character movement speed. If you have 100% movement speed or a lot of movement speed, this one is much better. With rhythm, so that I don't have to cast a skill frequently, with Mass Effect, Mania, and cooldown recovery, so it can cast multiple times for Star Stalker. And for mobility skill, I only use Blurry Steps because it provides 57% movement speed in order for us to map faster, and it provides blur as well. Okay, with of course Mass Effect, Mania, and cooldown recovery. With the Arcane Circle, we have Rhythm, Mania, and Mass Effect. We also have this also in Mana Boil. For auras, it's much better to have all the precise auras like Elemental Amplification, Deep Pain, and Precise Swiftness in order for you not to lose your mana. We have to have also Precise Auto Defense for Force Start, and Cooldown Recovery so that you can actually cast Auto Defense so it can restart your shield. And also we have Precise Elemental Resistance for our resistances with Seal Conversion. And last is triggered while channeling Elemental Destruction, Abysmal Hatred, and Magical Source for our mana. And then for the talent, the first one is our Goddess of Deception with Windwalk, which for DOT damage, together with Subtle Impact for Blur, gains additional 23% additional damage. So this is the one that I have. Just skip this part, guys. Just skip this if you're still leveling. Just kindly go up to here or up to one level here in order for you to put a second talent here. Then skip that and just go back once you're done filling all the necessary talent nodes for the Warlock tree. Okay? For the Psychic, we have Affliction for another Affliction effect. And we also Reap Purification for our Reap. And this is the one that I have. Just kindly fill in this and just focus on this one until you reach level 100. If you have spare, then just kindly put it here. Last talent would be Warlock for Indifference for cooldown recovery for Gemmas or Gemma 2's skill for Purgatory and Branding. We also Stab in the Back for our Blur. That's why we're using Blur on our mobility skill. Basically, the Warlock talent nodes this is the only one that you actually need. Just kindly go back to Goddess of Deception and fill in this talent nodes and this one, and this Affliction effect. Okay. Now for the Divinity Slates, it's mandatory for you to have Blazing Fire because this provides DOT or fire DOT damage. So you really need this one on your disposal, okay? And for the other slates, what I did is I'm actually trying to check whether I would purchase Persistent skill or Channeled skill. But for now, I was able to get this in the Netherrealm. I was really lucky to have this Max Channel Stack +1. So if you have this, it's much better. Alright, so for the other Divinity Slates, I just kind of focus on, as much as possible, Cursed, Skill Radius, that's the one that I have, Sealed Mana, Affliction, and Reaping Duration. And the other one that I have would be this one, Affliction Inflicted per second. As much as possible, you have to have this on your slates. Energy Shield and Dot Damage that would also help. Okay? Now let's jump over to the hero trait. So this is the one that we have, Breath of Exchange. First 3 stats is mandatory for this. Skill Duration and also Affliction effect for branded enemies. Cooldown Recovery when another Purgatory inflicts 1 brand. So you have a lot of enemies to brand inside your Purgatory. Another one is, the last one is 30% damage recorded ratio for brand enemies, and 9% affliction effect per 1% recording to up to 32%. Okay. Okay, so this is the one that we have. Sinful Entanglement, Scorching Slashes or Lashes, Burning Depths, We also have Flames of Desire, so it can transfer the brand to another non-boss enemy within the area of 10 meters, and it can also provide 100% of the damage recorded from the other brand that was defeated will be transferred and will receive death by fire. That's why we're able to clear the maps easily while the enemies inside our purgatory. Now for Dress Liquor, we have Purgatory's limit becomes 1 and it can follow you whenever you go. Plus 8 seconds Purgatory base duration and less than 50% additional Purgatory cooldown recovery, so you can always trigger Purgatory, which actually main dealer of damage for this build. Okay. Last but not the least is Pact Spirit. As you know, just kindly excuse me, level or choose what's actually you really prefer or what you are lacking. In my case, I was lacking for resistances. That's why I put this Pact Spirit here. It's not necessary that you have to have a legendary one. You can just simply use the normal ones, just like this one. This has any energy shield, mana, or you can use this one. Any Pact Spirit that has increased elemental resistances, damage mitigation, and experience bonus, and the rest I put the Pact Spirit that has DOT damage and ailment and affliction effect. There. Alright, so there you have it. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing so that you can get build updates for Torchlight Infinite. And see you on our next video for another update of this Gemma 2 Flame of Pleasure Path of Flames build. Thank you so much for watching until the end. See you on our next video.